What up? What up? What up, world? How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Mike, aka Classic Mike, as you can see here. Just here to do a video about how to make your own draft board. And we're going to be using Google Sheets. This is a completely free way to do it. This is a way to help make it so that you can share this amongst your league mates. A way for them to look at it, from wherever they are. They can use their computer, their phone, to be able to view this. They can even view it for the guys that, that can't really make the draft for those live drafts that everyone loves to do. I love doing them. We do that with our league every year. But you might have that one person that can't make it, but can be available for the draft. This is a way for them to see it. So I'm going to start off. We're going to I'm going to show you guys how to make the draft board. I'm going to show you guys how to, put players in and, make it customizable for your league. We're going to do both redraft. I'm going to show you how to do keeper. I'm going to show you even how to do things, including how to add, draft picks to it. My league, we do draft picks. We can trade them and, they move on to the next season. So I'm going to show you a way to kind of circumvent that a little bit, make it a little bit easier for people to view the draft board, give positional colors, kind of like what Sleeper does with the different colors for each position. So we're going to do that too as we go along. So I'm ready to go. So here we go. We're going to bring up the draft board right here. And as you can see, I already did the grid. And when you start with the grid, make it based on, your format of your league. My league is, we have 18 spots. So we have a 1 QB, 3 wide receiver, 2 running back, 1 tight end, 1 flex, 6 bench spots with a kicker, defensive team with a IDP flex and a defensive back. So all that added up is 18 spots. So I set my grid up with 19 spots just to give myself the extra on the outside, and up on top, we run 10 teams. So we do 11 on the other side. So make sure you always add 1 to all your things. If you have 12, do 13. If you have, and just always add 1 and make your grid the way that I just made it here. This is a simple one. You can make it a little more fancy and all that. I'm just going to show you guys the bare bones. I already put names in just to make it easier for myself. To show you guys how to do, what I'm going to show you next. So what I'm going to show next is a way to make it where you can interchange the names. Nice and simple, right? So what we're going to do here is we're going to select from the first player or the first team, which is going to be me. And we're going to go all the way over to the last team. And from there, we're going to go to format at the very top. Then we're going to go to data. And from data, we're going to go to data validation. Now, before I get to that, actually, one thing that you should do, and always make sure that you do in this case, if you go to the very, very bottom in the bottom left-hand corner, you're going to see to add a sheet. Make sure you guys add a sheet, and when you do so, it'll be this little thing right here. I label this as list options. This is where all of your data is going to go. All your data is going to go in this little spot right over here, and I'm going to explain why that's the case. This isn't a very important part of the sheet to do, so make sure you have it. And what I do is I list all the teams that I had listed below, or sorry, listed above up here. So we're going to select this whole top row again. We're going to go to data. We're going to go to data validation. When we go to data validation, we're going to hit enter, arrange, and formula. We're going to hit this little box right here. From there, we're just going to click into that box and go to list options, that second sheet that we created. And then we're going to just drag from A1 down to A10. And when we do that, we just make sure you have A1 to A10, hit A. Now you're going to want to make sure show drop-down list in the cell. So when you do that, you save it. And as you can see, we have names. You can interchange all you want. You can make this every year, can be different, after you select the teams that you want to select, right? So we're going to use this same thought process in bringing in the players and making sure that you have players to show on your draft board. So to do that first, the one thing that I suggest to everybody, I strongly suggest, make sure you guys go to Fantasy Pros And Fantasy Pros is probably one of the best, if not the best site for things like rankings and things like that, tools, little things to help you with your league. And what you would do here is you go to NFL, and this is all free too. You go to 2022 rankings. From there, you're going to see this sheet. Now, it doesn't matter what the scoring format is or anything like that. We don't care about any of the formatting part for this particular reason. The only reason is we just need the names. That's all. So, what we're going to do from here is go to this little icon that is to the left of the printing icon. You're going to select that, and then it's going to download. So, it's going to show a download thing to the bottom left of your screen, and it's going to say something to the effect of Fantasy Pros 2020 CSV. So you want to make sure it says CSV. That's very important. This is part of the process. So after we're done here, we're going to switch it over, and I'm going to go back to the screen that we were looking at before. Give me 1 second. And we're going to go back to this. And from here, what we're going to do is same thing again. We're going to go to our list options. And from list options, we're just going to click anywhere on here, and we're going to go to file. Then we're going to go to the import right here, third one down. And from there, we're going to go to upload. Then you're going to select a file from your device. So this is going to just go into your file manager, as you can see here. And you're going to go to this right here. I have it set as Fantasy Pros 2000 Draft, all rankings, which is 500 plus players. You're not going to miss anybody. Kicking, defense, nothing. It doesn't matter. You have everybody on this list. So when you hit open, you're going to get this thing right here. What I like to do is I like to select insert new sheet. And what that will do is just add another sheet like we just did before, and it will import the data. And what it will do is it will create this monstrosity. Now, this is just a lot of numbers. We don't need all these numbers. You don't need them. So we're just going to go to A and B. We're just going to highlight those. We're going to delete. Then we're going to go to the D column right here. We're going to delete that D column. We don't need the team names and all that stuff. We do need the positions. So we're going to keep that. And then we're going to go from we're going to go from F all the way over. We're going to go from J to F now. And we're going to just delete all that. So now you have a page all ready to go that you can play with. So what I did, I'm going to just delete these two, the name and position. And I'm going to get rid of that. And next, what we're going to do, what I have for you guys is a formula that is going to make this so that it's you can combine what you just see and we're going to take away those numbers that you see next to RB, wide receiver, tight end, all those things. We're going to get rid of all those numbers. So the way to do that is I have this formula for you. I'm going to leave this up on the screen for a few minutes. As you can see, it says, make sure you read it. It's reg X replace. This is a formula that's in Google already. You can pretty much, as long as you type equal and then you can find this after you type in REG, it will literally give you this option. There's two other options as well. You're going to put in E:E with a comma, and then you're going to put in parentheses not parentheses, asterisks. You're going to make sure you use this particular direction of the slant. Make sure it's that particular way, and a lowercase d. Same thing, just make it look like this, and then the comma right after you're done, close the parentheses, and then we are good to go. So I already have this saved for myself so that it makes it a little easier for you guys to see. We go back to this sheet, and we want to keep it on E. So I'm going to paste this thing right here. And as you can see, RB sticks right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to grab this little blue box at the bottom right corner of that cell. And we're going to literally pull that thing all the way down to the very end. Now, like I said, there's about 520 some odd names on here, roughly, or 550. And now you have Everything's separated, no numbers, no nothing. And what we're going to do from here, we're going to just drag this all the way to the back up. We're going to select both cells or both columns, the C and D column. We're going to go all the way back to the top. We're going to hit copy, and then we're going to go back to our list option. So you're going to select, let me take this away. You're going to select the list options right here in this particular area. And from there, what you're going to do is just put it in. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to put it in D right now. And what I'm going to do is go to paste. And when you paste, make sure you select values only. If you select anything else, it will come out very odd and very weird. You don't want to see it. I'll give you an example. If you do format only, you're not going to see anything. So make sure when you guys do it, you paste values only. And as you can see, everything is right there. Okay, so you got all the stuff that you grabbed from the Fantasy Pros sheet. You got everything now on this new list options sheet. This is your data. This is where you have all the information that you need to be able to do what you need. So one sec, I hit a extra button. So we are good to go. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to put a just a little a little separator for the player in position, just to make it a little easier, a little clearer to know who you're talking about. And that particular formula is right here. So make sure you type in equals CONCATENATE, put the parentheses, and then in this case, the cells are going to be a little bit different. So don't use these particular cells that they have listed, the the C12. You're not going to use those particular ones. In this case, you're going to be using D and E. But what you're going to do is, so I already have this particular formula set up. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to right next to it, right on the F12. We're going to put this formula in. We're going to paste it. And when we do that, you're going to go up to the top. And what you're going to do is just change the numbers. And all you're going to do is change this, in this case, to D12 and E12, because they're right next to each other. These are the two places that you need. And if you see it's going to highlight, you hit enter. And then you're going to get a selection. It's going to ask you to autofill. So, suggested autofill, show formula, blah, blah, blah. You're just going to hit this. And there you go. You have all your positions right here, all labeled and all with the name next to it, with the, the position right in front of it, which is fantastic. It makes things so much easier. And I'm going to show you why in a minute. So next, we're going to want to drag all that information and put it on our board, right? So we want these players on our board. As you can see, you're going to go up here. You're going to select from, in this case, I have it on E5. Like I said, it could be on a different cell, but you want to start from the 101, drag it all the way over, in this case, to the last, the last round, the first one, or last one based on, how big your league is. And from there, we're going to select data again. We're going to select data validation. You want to make sure it's list from a range, and then make sure that you select this box, the data range right here. From there, you're going to click the box again, like we did with the names, and we're going to go to list options. Now, from there, what you're going to do is select the very first one, and we're going to do the exact same thing we did last time. We're going to drag all the way down in this row on F. We're going to go all the way to the bottom. It just makes it easier. You could probably select the column at the very top, F, and just select the whole damn thing, which is fine. I just do this to make it a little bit easier for you to see. And then you select OK, you hit save. And then from there, let's go back to our draft board and look at what we got here. Now, another little thing that you might want to do is go from one to, grab your whole table, and you want to go up here, and you're going to see text wrapping. You're going to want to hit this one in the middle, which is wrap, just to make it so that you can see the player's name. Now, you can adjust the player, the size of everything. I usually select, and then I take a look at what size works. Sometimes 18 is a little big, 14 kind of works for some names. Others don't. 12 is kind of a healthy medium. You got to find what works best for you. From there, what we're going to do is we're going to give these particular, we're going to give running backs their own color. We're going to give wide receivers their own color. We're going to do a whole bunch of stuff right now. And I'm going to show you the final product as well. I wanted to I made one for you guys to see, like a final little thing that we can do. But you're going to basically be following the next steps that I'm going to be giving you. You're going to be following them for the conditional formatting part of this. So I'll explain that in a minute. So first, what we're going to do is we're going to make this conditional formatting for keepers. So we want to get the keepers out of the way, make sure that those are selected and ready to go. So in this particular case, you want to select the whole thing like I did again from, the whole table. Make sure, don't select the rounds and the teams. Go to Format, Conditional Formatting. And then from there, you're going to see up here, Apply to Range. And it's going to give you the range you want. And then you're going to select Text is exactly. So make sure it's text is exactly. You select that. Now, what I like to do is I like to make it a color that stands out and easy to see with the eyes. In this case, I'm going to be selecting red or black and red to make it very stand out. And what I'm going to do in this case, I'm going to put it for Joe Mixon. Just, that's what I'm keeping. So I figure put the name in, make sure it is correct. Make sure it is exactly the way that you have it on the list options. From there, you select done. I'm going to just add one other guy just for poops and giggles here. You're going to do the exact same thing. Go text is exactly. And in this case, I'm going to make it for Stefan Diggs, who's my other guy that I'm going to be keeping this year as well. And then from there, you want to do the exact same color scheme, the exact scheme, the exact same. I selected the wrong one. So make sure it's the exact same colors that you have so that everyone is aware and can see it very clearly. I'm going to show you how clearly in a sec. So from here, I'm going to select Joe Mixon, and then you put him in the spot that he's supposed to be in. So for me, he would be in the the 210 and the 5-1. Those are the spots. Like I said, you can put them for anywhere. You can do it for every team. Doesn't matter. Just make sure you put the name and the color that you want so that everything is cohesive to what you're trying to do. Now, what I also do is I make sure that for my league, what I just did is I made all the teams a certain color scheme and a certain color. Now I'm going to show you that the final product in a minute, at least the first 6 rounds, so you can kind of see what it looks like. But I'm going to show you the other things to do now that we have this particular conditional formatting. What we want to do now is make it a different color for the running backs and for the wide receivers, the quarterbacks, and so on. In this case, I strongly suggest for anyone that decides to do this to make sure that your top teams, anyone up the top, if you're going to use color, if like this is a keeper league and you want to use your picks to, interchange and so on and so forth, what I would do is I strongly suggest making your top teams a very bold color, very dark color. Any dark color that you can possibly use, I would. I'll give you an example in a minute, like I said. And then what I would do is make the players option a little bit lighter of a blue, a green, a yellow, like all the different colors. Make it a little bit lighter, and I'll show you why in a minute. How why this is very, very important. So what we're going to do again is we're going to select this whole board like we did last time. We're going to add another rule, and from adding another rule, we're going to go to the formula page. And we're going to go with text ends with, and in this case, we're going to put different, positions. RB in this case, we're going to start from the beginning. And what I would strongly suggest is these middle, this third row or the second row over here. I'm just going to give it a blue with, white lettering. Do that. I'm going to do the same thing again, add another. We're going to go ends with, and we're going to put WR. So we're going to do wide receivers next. We're going to just pick a different color. So we're not going to go with blue. We're not going to go with like a darker blue, or, we're going to go to a completely different color. I'm going to go with this color green just to make it a little bit easier to see. And we're done. Next, we're going to go to, in this case, I'm going to go to ends with, and we're going to do the quarterback. Now, I like to choose a different color just, just for the QB because, it's an important position, of course. So I make it a little bit brighter, a little bit, more fun to look at. You can make this color whatever you want for the, you know, for the lettering and the text and all that. That's fine. We're gonna go with the tight end, the one that you're gonna see probably the least amount, just because less selection unless this is one of those tight end premium leagues and stuff like that. So we're gonna just make this a little bit like that. I should have made it a little bolder so it's easier to see for the other ones. So I'm just gonna add bold to all of them so that they're a little bit bolder, a little bit easier to see the text. It's just another good thought process when you're doing these, making it bolder so that it's a little bit easier to see. Next, I'm going to do kicker real quick. And I'm not going to touch the other ones. It's really not important at this point. I'm just trying to show you guys, um, you know, just general ways to go about it. So these are the colors that I've picked. These are the colors that will be for the players. And in this case, I'm going to just give you a quick little sneak peek of what we got. So Jonathan Taylor, I'm just going to pick a random team here. Nothing outstanding. Everyone's going to wish they had this team. But we're just going to select a few people just to give you guys an idea of what it looks like. Just all the positions, and a general idea of how it would look on your board. So I'm going to show you the finished product in a second. I didn't do DST, so that will come out as a normal black and white. I'm trying to find kicker. There we go. Just a random kicker. So this is how it would look on your board for the most part. This is at least for one grouping of people. Now, the next step would be to do this exact thing. And in this case, you would select from, the top part, you would select the whole thing. We're going to add another rule. And in this case, making sure it's that whole row. And you make you make the teams a different color. But you want to do text is exactly. And in this case, for me, Mike H, you want to make it a very bold color. So for me, it's this dark, blue color that I like a lot. And we make sure that it's like that. Now, so anytime my name's up there, that's what it will be. We'll do Ryan's as well. Text is exactly. We're going to put Ryan. That's why you want your names to be a little bit easier to type. Maybe, the name of the team, the name of just something like that. It just makes things so much easier. I'm just picking random colors right now to make it a little bit easier. Like I said, you want to go with bold colors that you can see, that you can make it easier for. This is for a certain reason, and I'll explain that in a minute. It's basically so that um, you can see the outline of picks. I'll show you why in a minute. So this is, just the general idea. I'm not, like I said, I really don't want to go through every name and do it because this video would be very long. I'm just going to do 4 names just to make it clear of what I'm, trying to get through to everybody. So I got 4 names, 4 different colors, very clear to see from right here. So in my keeper league, we have, like I said, the traded picks, and what we do is, picks could be from anywhere. So in this case, I would format this to be for, let's just say for me, this would be white, making sure I have that. And let's just say I traded with this guy too. So I have a pick here as well. We're going to just format that for that. And then let's just say Jay traded with Ryan here. We just make sure this is all ready. And then, Ryan traded with this guy. So we have picks everywhere to go to every spot, right? So what ends up happening when you do this, and let's just say you select a player here, it ends up changing the color back to whatever the conditional format that you originally had. So to counter that, what we'll do is I'm going to just delete the name. As you can see, it's a bright, this bright blue. We're going to go up here right next to the fill color. We see borders. We're going to select borders. We're going to go to right here. We're going to go to border color. From here, we're going to select the color that grid is right now, which is that dark blue. And then we're going to select this big thick line right here. Yes, I know, laugh while you can. We're going to select that one. And then we're going to select this right here, outer border. So we're going to select that real quick. What we're going to do is we're going to actually do this to every one of the ones that are selected. So anyone that has a traded pick, we're going to go to that box right up here with borders. We're going to select the color that it is. Make sure you select the line and outer, the outer border. So I'm going to do that real quick. Make sure that we have all those selected in the right spots. And when you do this, the reason why you do this is because, so if you select this, you can see that blue outline. I know that you can kind of see it, but you can see it a lot better right here. You can see that it was clear that this was my pick. We can go to this pick as well. We'll go to Justin Jefferson, same thing. I can see that when I'm doing this and inputting this into Yahoo, Sleeper, whatever, for your live draft, you can then see that this was Ryan's pick. And then you can do the, like I said, it's the same thing here. We're going to select tight end just so you can see it. You don't have to really change the color, but you can see that. Same thing here. You're going to see the running back. You're going to see that nice green, bold color. That's why I suggest using bold colors for the names and light colors for the players. It just makes things so much easier, more cohesive. I'm going to show you a copy of a board that I just did for my league, just to give you an idea. Let me just, I can't slide it over. Let me take my face out of here. So as you can see, I kind of did the board to make it, relatively the same. I'm going to change some colors up to make it a little bit better. But overall, this is what it would look like on a, if you were looking on this, from a perspective of during a draft. You can see that I have Nick Chubb. I have Nick Chubb, Joe Mixon, Julio Jones, Travis Kelce, Stephon Diggs, Aaron Rodgers, the Bears defense, Will Lutz, and then Devontae Adams right here. So you can see that I grabbed him here. So I have these two in the 8th round. It's just a lot easier to be able to see it. You can, see here, Callie has, in this case, the 4th pick of the round. He does not have the 3rd, and you can see that here. And it's very easy to be able to understand. You can even delete the names, and the colors are still here. I originally had that a different color, but there it is. So, like I said, you can see that the colors are all still here. All you do is change it to the team, to the player that you need. And the outline is still there. It's a little harder to see on the first one because I wanted to show you guys as well. One thing that you guys can do, I'm going to go back to the other screen. I would select here, you go to the rounds and teams, and from there you go to view. From view, you go to freeze, and make sure you select columns first, go up to column D, and then the same thing, view, freeze, and then up to row 4. That just makes it so that you can, it's just easier overall to be able to, navigate everything here. So like I said, this is what your board would look like overall if you were to use this as, an option. I'm going to be doing this in my league. I, wanted to give everybody an idea of what it looks like if they wanted to do it. I'm hoping that everyone, I hope this helped. I hope this makes everybody, want to do a process like this. It's very fun. It's very easy to do. It barely took me this long to do in general. But make sure you guys are using those formulas. I'm going to show them again just to make it clear. This is to take away the numbers. This will take away the numbers on your list option sheet. And make sure you guys just make sure if anything, it's based on where the column is and, things like that. But just make sure you're replacing the column that, where the positions are. If they're in column E, then that's what you're selecting. But if you do it exactly the way that I did it, that one will be fine. Then this is the second formula. This is to add just that little, little spacer. When you do that, just make sure you change the cells for this. Just make sure, whatever it is, could be D13, D whatever, D13, E13. Just make sure they're right next to each other after you copy and paste. So I hope this was incredibly helpful. I hope that this was, something that you guys like. If you did, make sure you guys like and subscribe below. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I plan to do a couple more things like this. This is my 2.0. I did this last year, so I'm glad that I get to do it again and be able to show you guys an improvement and update it, so you guys can, make your own for your own league. So make sure you guys like and subscribe. Like I said, make sure you guys check out our sleeper channel as well. That's going to be in the description in the bottom. This is just a QR code. If you don't already have sleeper, then use this code. This code will help you get it. Just use your Google Lens and it will get you right there, or your iPhone, or whatever you whatever you use. But otherwise, I appreciate everybody for stopping by and watching. Please, like I said, make sure you like and comment below. I'm always open for some criticism. And if you have any question, please let me know. I'm always here, always willing to help out with trying to, make things better. So thank you so much, everybody. See you soon.